It is Wednesday or Thursday.
Thursday of this week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Bye.
To put something.
Hey, Karim.
Yep.
What's up?
Yeah, Charlie, cool.
Okay.
Yourself?
Good.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Did I change mommy's name or leave it as Keisha?
Got it.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Seydou. Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay, we are about to start now. Yeah, but if it's okay with everyone, can we give 3 more minutes so we can allow others to join? And then we start around 5 after 4. Okay, so music can continue. Thank you very much, Becky.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ngilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami, ngilondoloze. Olúwa see pain and sacrifice. What's goes on my mind? Just trying to survive.
The Bluetooth device is ready.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, ambenami, zungangishilana. Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze.
Okay, thank you very much, Becky. Okay, good afternoon again, and welcome all of you to our virtual rally on the new pathway to permanent residence. We are glad you are all here this afternoon, that you've taken this time, today being Mother's Day, to join us. Migrant Rights Network specifically picked this day, being Mother's Day, for mothers who can, or in the provinces where the restrictions are not too much, they can march to their various ministers' offices with their babies to show our Prime Minister and our government that we need them to hear us and listen to us. So the Access Without Fear Coalition, in collaboration with Migrant Rights Network, is hosting this virtual rally to call on our government to do more and grant full and permanent residence. This is the first across country day of action for full and permanent immigration status in 2021. We are asking for full and permanent residency without any exception. Just want to say before we go on, we are going to acknowledge that we are on Indigenous and Métis Nation land. So everybody allow me, okay. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are on Treaty 1 territory, and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the territories that were made. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Thank you. So, as you are all aware, due to our government new public health restrictions and due to the gathering size, to help slow down on the pandemic and on the variant, we are not able to have a rally outside. And that's why we are having this digital or virtual rally. We are not the first to have a digital ready. There has been few digital rallies, and I just thought I'll mention. In Vancouver, they had a digital rally by the BC Migrant Undocumented Workers Rally, and they rallied for permanent residency. That was published in the Winnipeg Free Press, September 2020. The 350 Canada 350 organization had a mass digital rally to call on Prime Minister Trudeau to release the true cost of the TMX pipeline in September 2020. And in Winnipeg here, they had a digital rally to keep transit moving. That was in December 2020. So on this Mother's Day that we are also having a virtual rally, digital rally, or rally as others will call it, we would like to take this few minutes to wish all our mothers happy Mother's Day. We just want to thank all our mothers because whilst our children can charge us when they do some housework chores for us, we want to say to them, everything that mothers do, we do it at no charge. Happy Mother's Day. We also want to take this time in a time of COVID to let everyone who have lost their loved ones know that our hearts go out to them, all the families that have lost someone. This is a very difficult time, and we hold them all in our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers. We come together as a family, and we would like to commend all our frontline workers, our doctors, our nurses, our scientists, our government personnel, all the medical people, and especially people who are also working in other front lines that we can't name them all. We want to thank them all at this time. Okay, so now we're going to go on with our program. Okay, I just want to say it's never too late, and in everything there is a start. We have an African proverb, a very old African proverb that goes like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Today, our aim is to go together, to call on our government, to let our government know, yes, we acknowledge what they've done. They've done a lot, and they've opened up new pathway for permanent residency. All we are saying is for them to listen to us and change their conscience and go a bit more further. Somebody will say, why are we doing this? We're doing this because don't underestimate the power of coming together or the power of having a rally. Recently, we can all tell the power of rally all across the country and what it has produced. So we're not doing this in vain. We're doing this for a very special cause. We want our government, yes, they're doing it by statistics or by the immigration status. We want them to see that there are people behind these statistics. There are families. There are people who have left all their families way far. They are working hard for us throughout all this pandemic. We are hoping the government will reconsider and let them all in. The government wants people to be here to recuperate and improve the economic structure for us. We are saying, Prime Minister Trudeau, we have all the people here already. They are in already. Please consider them. Okay. Next, we're going to move on to, one sec. I'm going to call on, just a second. Okay, let's see if the fellow is here. Okay. So I'm going to call on Karen Hamilton. Karen is the chair for the Access Without Fear Coalition to read our statement that we have for this rally. Karen, are you there? I can see everyone. Okay. Albert?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Would you mind, please?
Okay.
So we're gonna call on Albert to read our statement for us for now.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. My name is Albert Boache, and then I work with the Social Planning Council as a community animator, and I'm part of the Access Without Fear coalition. And I'm glad to step into the shoes of Karen, who is not here. So when the new immigration pathway for temporary resident and international graduates came up, the coalition met, and then we had to put a statement together. So this is how the statement goes. The pandemic has affected everyone's lives here and across the globe, but those who are racialized, immigrants and refugees have been affected badly across every community in Canada. So as the pandemic intensifies, many are going to be faced with trauma, severe social isolation, different forms of discrimination. There are also some people still facing language barriers, and then there is also lack of mental health support. And on daily basis, most of these migrant workers are finding it difficult to meet their basic challenges. So migration and economic and labor policies have resulted in the overrepresentation of migrants in essential, low-paying and precarious work. These policies and their outcomes represent structural racism within Canada's immigration system and our society in general. COVID-19 has clustered within these occupations, which are typically more crowded and often offer limited workplace protections and benefits. We support the federal government's effort towards economic recovery through providing permanent residency to temporary workers and international students. However, following the announcement in April, migrant workers conducted a survey of 4,000 migrant workers across Canada, and we got to know that the new pathway for permanent residency is unfair, it's exploitative, and it's very exclusive of most people in Canada. So with over 4,000 people responding to the survey, we realized that over 34% of international graduates are excluded from the new program. And as well, 45% of migrant workers already in Canada are excluded from the program. While it creates a pathway to permanent residence for over 90,000 temporary workers and international students, it does not address the complications and the challenges of over 1.8 million migrants and undocumented people in Canada. So the continual requirement of the English test, which is still part of this new program, remains out of reach for many, including seasonal agricultural workers who are working hardly on Canadian soil during the pandemic to provide food for us all. So the Access Without Fear is a coalition of community-based organizations that supports all immigrants, regardless of their status, to access services that are available to all citizens and permanent residents. We call on the federal government to ensure that all migrant and undocumented people in Canada are granted permanent resident status without exception. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Albert Boachi. Okay, at this time, I'm gonna call on the president for the African Communities of Manitoba, Mrs. Titi Tijani, to bring greetings.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for having me. This is great. Yes, I'm happy to be here and to join, put our voice across and join everyone else to call upon our government to do more to what they are doing so that everyone that is here that has also gone through the pains of the pandemic, their families can also benefit from this new opportunity. So our statement reads, African Communities of Manitoba, Inc., that's ACOMI, We do acknowledge and support the federal government's effort towards immigration in Canada as a whole. Canada has always been a land of immigration and an example of integration and multiculturalism. As Canadians of African descent, we are very proud of Canada, and we believe that Canada will only be stronger with the integration of immigrants and an inclusive workforce. That is why, while we appreciate and welcome the new permanent resident pathways for temporary residents in Canada, we're also calling the attention of our government on to the following: that the conditions and eligibility requirements that is applicable for these pathways are very and too restricted in reference to the designated learning institutions, skilled trades, that is bus drivers and taxi drivers that are driving, they are not on the list. So it doesn't include many other occupations and work that people do while they are here to survive. The restriction include it's too science oriented and demanding on how to fill local manpower. Program of study that is long, it's long in duration and financially demanding. That means students will have to be here for X number of years before they can be able to partake in the program. And also the graduation year that is included is 2017 till now. So people who have graduated before then are excluded. And also people who are self-employed are also excluded. So we join the coalition of community-based organizations, and we call on the federal government to ensure that all migrant and undocumented people in Canada are granted permanent resident status without exception. They are here already. There is no need for us to open doors for other people to come in, while people who are already here, who are already contributing to our economy, should be excluded from this program. And I thank you. I hope the government hears our call, as well as the call of many others across the country, and make some necessary changes to this new pathway. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Tijani. This time, I'm going to call on the Vice President for the African Communities of Manitoba, Mr. René Tunji-Semen. He's going to speak to us in French. Uncle René.
Hello, everyone. I'm René Tunji-Semen, Vice President of ACOMI. African Communities of Manitoba, ACOMI, reconnaît, appuie les efforts que le gouvernement fédéral déploie pour l'immigration au Canada. Le Canada a toujours été un pays d'immigration et un exemple d'intégration et de multiculturalisme. En tant que Canadiens d'ascendance africaine, nous sommes très fiers du Canada et nous croyons que le Canada ne sera que plus fort avec l'intégration des immigrants et une main-d'œuvre inclusive. C'est pour cette raison que, tout en appréciant et en accueillant favorablement les nouvelles voies permettant aux résidents temporaires de devenir des résidents permanents du Canada, nous aimerions attirer l'attention du gouvernement sur les points suivants. Les conditions et les critères d'admissibilité pour ces voies sont très restrictives en ce qui concerne les établissements d'enseignement désignés, les métiers spécialisés, par exemple le métier de chauffeur d'autobus, de chauffeur de taxi ne figure pas sur la liste. La plupart des métiers qui sont mentionnés sont trop techniques, trop scientifiques, trop exigeants, voire très difficiles à remplir par la main-d'œuvre locale. Les programmes d'études sont très exigeants en ce qui concerne la durée de formation et les moyens financiers lourds et considérables que les étudiants devraient assurer. L'année d'obtention du diplôme pose également un problème. On ne voudrait admettre que les gens qui ont obtenu le diplôme au plus tôt en janvier 2017. Nous trouvons que ce n'est pas vraiment juste. Il y a également le problème de la non-admissibilité des travailleurs indépendants, à l'exception des médecins. Fort de toutes ces petites remarques, nous, ACOMI, comme la coalition des organismes communautaires, nous appelons le gouvernement fédéral du Canada à accorder le statut de résident permanent à tous les migrants sans aucune exception. Merci beaucoup à tous et nous espérons que le gouvernement va nous suivre. Merci. Thank you and God bless you.
Merci beaucoup, Uncle Rainey. Thank you very much, Mr. Rainey Tunde Simen. Thank you so much. At this time, we will be calling on Tita Pella. That is Pella. One second, I think I'm there. Okay. My internet is causing a problem here.
Paula.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Ethnocultural Council of Manitoba, Stronger Together, I bring greetings and convey our support to this cause, to call on our federal government to implement an equity-oriented immigration policy to give migrant workers, refugee claimants, and asylum seekers who are already in this country gain permanent residency status. The ECCM has a membership of over 20 cultural groups, and its mandate is to be a collective voice to express the needs and challenges of our members and help find solutions to them. At the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, we were made aware of the distressing conditions of these groups. They had to face without promise of any help coming from government. Folks in our communities pooled resources to help them out. And these scenarios should not be happening in our country.
Yeah.
Canada and the whole world have been facing unprecedented challenges brought about by the coronavirus since last year. This unprecedented situation should also be met with unprecedented solutions. And this is one time where the federal government should adopt an equity-oriented immigration program where all migrant workers, refugee claimants, asylum seekers who are already in the country be given residency status. So we, the ECCM Stronger Together members, join Access Without Fear Coalition and the Migrant Rights Network in this call on the government to grant full and permanent status for all who are already in the country. Thank you. What happened?
I think we're just waiting on Auntie Maggie to join back into the stream. Just a bit of technical difficulties, but she should be back any second.
Okay. Okay. I apologize for this. Yeah, we're having some technical issues here. Thank you, Becky. Yeah. Thank you, Gloria, for letting me back in. Okay. Thank you, Tita Pella. I could hear all, but I just wasn't on. Okay. So now we got to a point where I'm gonna call on Gloria. We have a PowerPoint presentation. So Gloria is going to put it up on the screen so we can see some of the rallies that have taken place all across the country previously, or for the permanent residents of immigrants. Okay, Gloria? Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Gloria. Yeah, so as you can tell, there are so many others just like us across the country all marching in support for full status for all. Okay, at this time, I'm gonna call on, we have here in our midst, yeah, Leah Gazan. She is the NDP critic for immigration, Winnipeg Central. So please, Ms. Leah Gazan, please take over.
Hello, everybody. It's such an honor to be with you all here today on this very special day, Mother's Day. And I want to honor all the women and care workers and nurses and everybody, people working in the food industry on the front lines today in support of full immigration status for all. I know that the government recently opened 90,000 spots for essential workers and international graduates who actively contribute to the Canadian economy. But let's get real. Many people, certainly many individuals in my riding, do not make the cut. I get many calls from constituents. I know my good friend and colleague Becky Lake has spoken to many of you who are working in low-paid essential roles. And most of certainly members in our riding of Winnipeg Centre will be excluded for reasons such as, for example, as you know, having made a refugee claim, having lost status, being unable to access language testing at a time, particularly in a pandemic, where migrant and temporary workers are putting their bodies, their lives, and their families on the front lines, doing jobs that many Canadians will not do. You deserve to be honored. You deserve to be respected. And you deserve to be given full immigration status for all. It's wrong in this country that we have two classes of migrants. I can only think of what happened in Ontario, where they found in a meat packing plant workers, migrant workers living in crowded conditions, being fed food rations. This is racism. This is exploitation. People's lives should not be held at the whims of employers who exploit, corporations that exploit. We need a program that's rooted in justice and fairness. We need a program that recognizes the values and contributions of all migrants and undocumented workers. Your lives matter. You are valuable. And we need status for all now. And we must have pathways for all in Canada to regularize their status and continue to contribute to our communities while making sure that their human rights are upheld. You know, I know that Canada has prided itself as a country of a diversity and a country of inclusion, but I want to be real here. What has gone on during the pandemic with the treatment of temporary foreign and migrant workers does not emulate those qualities at all. I want to let you know that I will keep fighting to uphold those basic human rights and continue on with fighting for a guaranteed livable basic income for all, which includes refugee claimants, migrant workers, temporary foreign workers, permanent residents. You should never, ever have to be placed in a situation where your ability to feed yourself is left up to a choice of whether you are exploited or not. You must always be treated with dignity in Canada. We must always ensure that everybody in Canada can live with dignity and human rights. So I want to let you know that I'm here. I'm your ally along with our Winnipeg Centre team, and we will continue to be a strong voice, certainly for the residents of Winnipeg Centre and other individuals around the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Ms. Gazan. It's so good to know you have an ally. We have an ally, and as she said, she's going to be fighting for us. We are so much appreciative of this and so much appreciative of everyone else who is fighting for the right for permanent residency for all our migrant workers, our refugee, asylum seekers, international students, and undocumented immigrants. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. At this time, we have among us one of our asylum seekers who is here claiming an asylum. Okay, she's gonna tell her story. Presently, she's living, I have to mention this. The Crestview Mennonite Church in St. James have been very gracious to host this lady with her two boys for years now. That's where she stays, all because of status. I'm gonna call on her to talk. I call on Fatmata to share with us her story. Fatmata, are you there? Yes.
I am.
Okay. Fatmata Gabo.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fatmata Gabo. Live in Winnipeg presently. I live in Winnipeg and I have two kids with me, two boys. My story go like this. I came to Canada 2016. I applied for, I came to Canada 2016. I came here for a wedding, but like I was going through some issue back home, like witchcraft. They wanted to take my kids. My ex-husband wanted to take my kids away from me. So like when I came to Canada, then like 1 month or 2 months, then I decided to stay because I realized this place will be safer for me and my kids, especially for my kids. Then I asked someone to help if there is any way for me to stay. If Then the person tell me, oh yeah, you can apply for refugee status. So I applied for refugee status 2016, but 2016 December, then I got denied for the refugee status. And 2017, I was like almost getting ready to go back. Then someone said, no, we can't allow you to go back. I have a friend staying in Toronto. Let me just call the person if they can help you. So like they try to help me and put another application on, which is the humanitarian compassionate. At that time, then I didn't even know what to do. Since that time, I lost communication with the person. So like, I didn't even know how to go about the process and all. I was just here. I didn't even know what to do then. I met my Crestview family. I met my Crestview family church, and then I met a lady named Catherine. My son met Catherine in the school. So then Catherine decided to visit me, but she didn't even know about my status and all. Then she visited me to talk about something else. Then I explained my problem. Then after that, I even like, oh, why can I just tell stranger my problem, that this is what I'm going through? But like, I never know that Catherine will be someone in my life and all. So like after that, Catherine said, oh, okay, maybe I will try to see what I can do. So we tried to apply for work permits. But at that time, we didn't even know about the process about if they get back to me or not. I didn't even know nothing. So like I get my work permit, I start work, and my church supported me, Catherine. Then they find a place. I find a place in my apartment. Like I was paying my rent and I was working, taking care of my 2 kids. They are going to school and all. After that, then I just have a letter from the immigration. So like deportation order, but like we have to apply for another another program again, which is like for 2 months. We apply and I get denied again with the same people, the same person that denied the humanitarian compassionate is the same person that denied the program again. So we try to meet 1 or 2 other people to help. The church tried. So they sent me the deportation letter. I was about to leave April 11. It was really terrible for me. I didn't even know. So like the very day they sent the deportation, the very day I supposed to leave, then I decided to come to the church. And my church embraced me, taking care of me. And I'm here now in the church for like 2 years. They are the one taking care of me. I was just inside, depressed, and the church have to find counselor for me. They have to find people to counsel me. It was really stressful for me. I was here just locked inside with the kids. They have to find teacher. They have to find people to come inside and teach us. Catherine with some of the church members until the government allowed the kids again to go to school. But at that time I was still inside. So, and I'm still inside the church. The church, they are the one taking care of me, feeding and everything, clothing, everything. They are the one taking care of me in Crestview Fellowship Church. So it was really terrible for me at that time. But now the church, yeah, they are trying to push. So I'm just pleading to the government and whosoever, please, to help me and my boys. I really want to start my life again. I'm here as a parent. I'm not working and I'm still in the church. They have done so much for me. The community have done so much for me. The Ghanaian community also helping. yeah, bringing some stuff for me. And I'm just pleading to the government to help me and my boys. I'm really tired with the way I'm living my life. But the only thing for now, I'm just grateful to God to keep me and my boys here, and just grateful for the church and other people, Catherine. So please, I'm just pleading to the government to help me and my boys. I'm still in the church, still waiting.
Thank you very much, Fatmata. So as you can see, many people migrate to Canada under different circumstances. Her circumstances different. But when the government entertains, gives you work permit from start, and they take that out of you, it's kind of like they pull the mat off your feet. Here she is now. Fatmata has 2 boys, and they're living in the church basement for years now. Can you imagine that? The boys go to school. There was some time where the boys were teased. One boy got upset, got into a fight because another child said, "Oh, you live in the church basement." It is difficult. As parents, we all know how difficult it is already to raise children. Now, to top it with the stress of the pandemic, that you can't raise your children very well. That is a state that most of our migrants are in. Imagine a mom in the middle of the night holding their child or children who is sick, has a fever. Mom is not able to take this child to the hospital, or because they do not have medical. Mom is afraid. Big child is sick. Mom has to tell her child, a mother, this is Mother's Day, tell your child, sorry, my child, I can't take you to the hospital. We don't have status. It is very sad. It is. If you haven't been in that situation, you don't know. If you haven't, please listen to us. And we are glad that you are joining us. There are so many reasons migrants are experiencing emotional distress. Their families are all over. They've left their families and they are suffering. The environment that they are bringing their children in is not good. They are growing every day. They have anxiety, depression, and the fear of being deported. That is not easy when you put your mind to that. You walk around and every time you are afraid. You don't know when the government is going to say you are being deported. Government has allowed some of them up to the stage where their claims, especially the asylum seekers, their claims were denied. They appeal. Government said, okay, we give you the compassionate and humanitarian grounds. Explain to us why we have to keep you here. Most of our people are under deportation order. They do call it removal. Yeah, but they are, and they can't sleep. They are the same ones who are helping us during this pandemic. Please, let's call Prime Minister Trudeau. Let's tell him, please don't leave them out. That's our message. Thank you very much, Fatmata. At this point, I'm going to call on Florence Okudele. Florence Okudele is one of our mothers in our community. She's all over the place. She's been very helpful. So she has a story to tell us about one of the asylum seekers that she had worked with. Auntie Florence, you take over.
Hello, thank you, Maggie. Thank you, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. It's indeed remarkable that we are having this rally today that is Mother's Day. And the story I'm going to tell the story as the third person. I'm going to use another name just to keep confidential, her story, the person confidential. I met Veronica. Or rather, Veronica is a mother of 3 girls, pregnant with the 4th one. Veronica showed up at the border with her 3 girls after having left Africa over 5 years, journeying through North America and into US. During this travel, she has never settled. The children have never gone to school. They will go to school once in a while. And Veronica has been trying to get a place to settle. Finally, Veronica showed up at the Canadian border and declared refugee asylum and sought asylum in Canada. Veronica was accepted to come in and lay her head down in one of the shelters. She was happy that at least she had a place to settle. And she was at least happy that people were friendly in Canada. So she thought that she's home finally after having gone through this journey for over 6 years. Veronica was happy that someone can smile at her, someone could sit and listen, someone gave her hope, could give her hope. So she built her hope that everything will be fine. Veronica was assisted to get a lawyer. Veronica was assisted to connect to some community people, and that's how I get connected to Veronica. But lo and behold, gradually, those hopes that she built started peeling off one by one. Her asylum seeking application was denied. Veronica was faced with 3 children, and she was still at the shelter. Veronica managed, through some friends and connection that she has made, to find a place that they could call their home, a small 2-bedroom apartment. But the baby, remember, she was pregnant. And in all these things, they had no bed, they had no pillow, they had no pot, they had nothing. They just had the cloth on their backs. Friends gathered around to find clothes for the kids, to find food, and to find anything they could lay their hands on. We brought mattresses, we brought everything that we could get. One day, Veronica went into labor. She does not have a status. She does not know how to go about it. And she almost had the baby at home. And the caretaker called 911 for her, and she was taken to the hospital. Veronica's bill continued to pile. Now she could not pay her bills. Now she could not, they could not give the baby immunization because she doesn't have a status. The children could not go to school. She has to worry about the baby. She has to worry about the children, food, where the food will come from. She had to worry about everything. And the children wanted to play. The children wanted to go out and meet their friends. But every day, where will the money come from? Day-to-day living became very hard. So here is a new mom who has to think about her baby as well as the 3 other kids. Veronica suddenly saw herself not being able to sleep, not being able to rest, not being able to breastfeed as the breast milk suddenly dried up. The baby was just 1 week old. There was no breast milk. There was no money for milk. There was no money for food for the 3 girls. We rallied around and went to harvest, got baby milk for the baby. And the stress of not knowing what will happen tomorrow, she could not even lift up her baby. We spoke words of encouragement to her. We spoke all that we could talk about to help her pass the day. But as the day goes by, the second appeal on humanitarian ground was denied, and Veronica was faced with deportation. Now, this is a journey that started 6 years ago. She's now penniless. The children have nowhere to go, no identity, and her baby had not gotten any immunization because she has no status. We rallied around friends and tried to see if we could get the baby immunized, at least the first immunization that the baby could get. Along this line, Veronica was not sleeping at all. And one day I came in with papers for her to sign. Veronica could not read anymore because she's going blind. She couldn't see the papers. Stress have taken away her sight. I just want us to think about, as mothers, what stress can do to a woman to not only dry her breast milk up and cause her to lose her sight. At that point, I felt this is serious. So I left all the papers and I held her hand and I told her, I said, Veronica, you need to stay strong. If you lose your sight, things are going to be worse for you. You need to stay strong. Stop thinking about tomorrow. try and get some sleep. She cried the whole entire time. How can I sleep? I will be sent back home. I don't even know anybody here except few of you. I said, no, believe me, you will not be sent back. And even as I was saying that, I'm not sure whether I knew what I was talking about, but I was just believing. I felt like crying and hitting the wall. That's how the situation of migrants are. Sometimes we trivialize it because we are not in their shoe, but when you live their life for one day, you will not be able to sleep in your own bed. At the time I was in Veronica's life, I completely forgot about my life. I forgot about my job. I forgot about my worries. I suddenly realized that when you have no place to lay your head, when you have no claim to where you are, I'm not sure how to describe it. You will not be able to exist. You will not be able to sleep. You will not be able to eat. You will not be able to drink. At some point, we were able to brought some food to the home. But Veronica could not cook, could not eat, could not do nothing. And the kids all gathered around her and they were crying. I said, you know what? Okay, now you are helpless. What do you want these kids to do? After that, she was able to pick up. Today is Mother's Day. I want us, each and every one of us, to think about the stress that migrants face in this country, the stress that refugee applicants and claimants usually go through. The stress is indescribable. I have experienced it with Veronica. I hear about it. I knew a few of it, but with Veronica, I felt like I walked in her shoe for the duration of time I was in her life. It's not sweet. It's not a good place to be. And it's only those who are in that situation could tell their story. I could tell it, but not as much as Veronica will do. And my prayers is that one day she will be a spokesperson for the migrant network, because I saw what I've never experienced in my life. So let's keep the story on. Let's keep the fire burning. Let's keep the pressure on. Let's not relent. And hopefully one day we'll get the claimant to get what they want. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you so much, Auntie Florence. Yeah, this is very good. I want to take this chance to thank all people, everyone who is working with our refugees, our undocumented migrants, our migrant workers, our international students, people who are alone. We want to say thank you to all of them. When Fatimata spoke, I just wanted to say we thank the Crestview Mennonite Church in St. James. We thank the people who have been working for her. We want to thank Catherine Harochok and Alice Weeb. The two of them are the only ones I know or have heard of, but I know there are so many people behind. They are on this platform, and I want to commend them for all their work. And we thank all our settlement agencies. We have a whole bunch here that are working for our refugees and our asylum seekers and our migrant workers and our undocumented immigrants and the precarious people with precarious status. We thank you all so much. I'm going to call upon KB. We have a drama here, a community drama, and also a barber. He's going to play some music for us so we can all take some breaks. During this time, if you can grab a piece of paper, please pick a crayon or a marker or anything and write on it, hashtag, Gloria is going to post that in the chat. Hashtag StatusForAll. We're going to call back on Auntie Florence and she's going to help us. We're all going to pretend we are outside and we are having a rally and now we are walking to the legislative building and then we all show our pieces of papers or posters, whatever you have. Okay, so I'll call on KB, There he is. Thank you very much, KB. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And I hope what we gathering for here today would be granted first from by God and also by the government and we the humans. And I hope you enjoy the small little video. You can just clap along, shake your head, and enjoy. Thank you.
KB, come closer. Come closer to your mic. Closer to your mic. Yeah, we couldn't hear you. Yeah. Can you come more closer? More closer to your mic. Yeah. Yes, it's coming a bit. Oh, we still can't hear.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm not really computer inclined, but I'll try again. How is this now?
Yeah.
And,
when you talk, we can hear you.
I think the microphone was sorry about that. Mommy, daddy. How's it now? Can you hear this now?
Yeah.
Let's try it again.
Oh, it keeps cutting. Oh no. Okay.
How's that?
Unfortunately, we still couldn't hear you.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
It was breaking. Yeah.
Okay, so, what about
Okay, one more time.
One more time. Sorry, everybody. I tried this earlier and I thought it was working before we come on the camera.
Yeah.
My apologies.
That's okay. That happens. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. KB, if you stay on, we're gonna bring you back at the end and hopefully it will work, okay? Would that be okay? Okay, so
Now
stay
I can
on.
barely hear you, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sorry my computer didn't work, but
yeah, it's better.
I hope what we gathered for gets granted. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you
I
very
appreciate
much.
that.
Thank you very much.
It's the same.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, we're still gonna match. So we call on Mrs. Florence Okudele. Florence?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So everybody, you got your pieces of paper? Okay, and you got your hashtag status for all. That's what we're gonna chant. We pretending we are outside. Remember, we're marching to the ledge. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. Hopefully you all have your piece of paper. So when I say status for all, everybody goes status for all.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Again, status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Good.
Good.
So let's try that one more time. Okay. Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all. Status
for all.
all. So now I want you to think about all the people that
Where
are in
is
this category. Status for all asylum seekers.
Status
Status
for
for all.
Asylum seekers.
Yes.
You
You
know who
have
is
them.
Mefro
Makwa me yeah me meeting on phone so nti mefro.
Yeah.
Status for refugee claimants.
Status
for all.
Amen. Abontin sisan, where is your now? Abontin,
If you have anybody in mind, and if you have anybody in mind, if I say status for all, can you not mention the person when you reply? Status for all.
Status
for all.
Status for all.
Status
Status
for all.
Status for Veronica.
Status
For
Isaac.
Plena.
Good. Status for Meguna.
Status for Fatma.
Fatmata.
Status for
Yeah.
Child.
Status for
Status for
Fatmata.
Emina.
Hey!
Clap for yourself.
Yay! Thank you very much. Becky, if you are there, can you please play us one more music?
Status for Albert.
Becky. And then we all, with Zoom, it doesn't synchronize. Our voices are all at different times, but it's okay. We're gonna yell again. Okay, music.
Let's look up.
It's for all. We are marching.
That is for all.
Oh, I didn't even review me.
Okay, we are marching on. That is for all.
Like that.
We're on our way.
Yes.
Here we come. That is for all. Okay. Thank you very much, Becky.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you all. We just pretend we have arrived at the late. We're gonna call on one more. When Mrs. Florence Okudele was saying to mention the names, I thought to myself, I can't finish mentioning the names. Right in front of me, I have about 34 people who are all on deportation order that I know them that have to go, that they are so stressing. I couldn't mention names. So we just want to say status for all, no exceptions. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to call at this time one of our asylum seekers. He's been here for, I think, over 4 years now. Adams, if he's on. I can't see everyone that is on. Adams. Okay. Adams. Okay, if Adams is not here, Isa, is Adams with you? Isa, please unmute.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Is Adams with you?
No, Adams is at home.
Okay, would you like to say something?
Yeah, we came to Canada, I think 4 to 5 years now. We are here working hard to help Canada to go forward. And then we are since pandemic came, everybody is working hard to help the community or Canadian citizen or everybody. And then we are begging for government to give us everybody is in Canada here is working, which is anything we need is a document. So we are begging for Canada's government to give us document, because we are here to help, to work to help. A lot of people working food process, farmers, driving the name. So we are begging for Canada government to help us, because we all, like I said, like me, they give me letter that they want to remove me. So now I'm working, but I'm confused. I don't know how to do. So I'm begging for Canada government to help everybody, which is we are already here. We are not outside the Canada, we are in the Canada. So we are begging the Canadian government to help everybody to give us citizens. So we are begging anybody in Canada, everybody, to give us anything we need. So we work hard to help Canada to go forward. That's the only thing I want to say.
Thank you very much, Issa Abib. So we've heard from one asylum seeker. One of the barriers that the government had set for this new pathway to permanent residency is English tests, English exams, which is one of the requirements to apply. We have so many of our migrant workers from different parts of the world. They are able to speak. We have home care workers. We have people who are here as domestic workers. Yes, they are able to speak. How do we expect them to write this English test? The English test has 4 parts. It's a listening part, a reading part, hearing part, a writing part. How can they? Government, we are asking you this favor. Please remove the barrier. Minister for Canada Immigration, Honorable Marco Medicino, said Canada is making efforts to facilitate permanent residence transition for those who are already here. He said that. Why leave out some of these people who are already here with so many different barriers that they can't even go over? Another fact is Canada has been seeking higher immigration to support the population and the labor force. The labor force growth needs to maintain its high living standards. Remember, so we need all these people. Minister Medicino again said in a media release, and I quote, "Our message to them is simple. Your status may be temporary, but your contributions are lasting. We want you to stay," end of quote. He said that. But why do we have so many barriers that prevents them? As my husband put it, it's like you have a wall and you want the people to climb over, or a fence, as we can say here, but you've put the wall maybe 60 feet or 60 something. You put only like 3 feet ladder for them to climb on. How possible is it? So yes, the government is telling us he's open the new pathway to permanent residency, yet the barriers or the restrictions is way too much. We're hoping government will take them all out. Thank you very much. Next, we're gonna call on, one second. Okay, Albert. Okay, so we have Albert Boachi. He introduced himself already, community animator with the Social Planning Council in Winnipeg. Albert has a little bit of a clip to show and share with us. Albert Boachi.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Gloria, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Gloria, can you please show my slides?
Yes, it's coming.
Well, so just like what Auntie Maggie said, we've been working very hard to push for permanent resident status for migrant workers in Canada and all undocumented people in Canada. So, like she said, there are still barriers to the new pathway for immigration. The Canadian government is providing this pathway for 90,000. As of yesterday, this is where the application has come at. So even for international students, the government wants 40,000. And even in 2020 alone, the enrollment in most Canadian universities across Canada was over 500,000 students. And for most of you who are not aware, international students in one way or the other also work here. They also pay their fair share of taxes to the Canadian to the Canadian economy. And in 2018 and in 2019, international student has contributed $4 billion in tuition alone to Canadian universities. In University of Manitoba and University of Winnipeg, the universities have established that they are able to sustain their operation because of tuition that are being paid by international students. If you look at the program, it is very exclusionary. Most people have been neglected. A lot of people cannot apply because of the English test. Still, the requirements are still the same. They still expect people to have police report from different countries. If you are applying and you are not a single person in Canada and you want to add your spouse has to get a Canadian police report from your country. And just for people who are not aware of this, if you are in Canada and you have stayed here for more than 6 months, you still need police report from your country. That alone costs you close to $400. The English exams that they are asking people to write, it costs you close to $300. And that means you need to get a score that they are asking you to get. It is also a barrier. Most people who are here are working in healthcare. They are working in food production and food processing companies, and they are risking their lives to work in all these jobs. It hasn't been easy. The exams has a lot of cultural inclinations. People find it difficult to write, and this is still a barrier. So we are pleading with the government to ensure that even if he's going to increase the quota and make the process more restrictive for people who are already here. Gloria, can you move to the next slide, please? Yes, we know this pathway has, it's a good way to ensure that people come into the country. Look at what Portugal did during the pandemic. People already in Canada that do not have status are already struggling. When at the start of the pandemic, we realized that Portugal was able to give migrant and asylum seekers full citizenship rights during the COVID outbreak. This was meant to ensure that people will have access to healthcare. People will have access to, going to the library. People will have access to all the things that are being denied by migrant workers across the globe. And this is the classic example of what Portugal did, because they realized that migrant workers and asylum seekers contribute their fair share of the Portugal economy. We expected the Canadian government to have done this to ensure that people who are already here will have access to permanent residency. Gloria, move forward. Yes, and in Italy as well, the government was able to grant work permits to over 560,000 migrant workers without papers in Italy. This is a credible approach that we expect the government to have done, because already people who are here are working. They are all paying their fair share of taxes, and they are contributing significantly to the Canadian economy. The last slide, please. This is very amazing. Canada is a country of immigration. It's a country of laws. We know for sure that even in America, where during Trump's time, we expected people to stay in the country to even work to support the economy. Even in California, the biggest state in America, they even announced money to support undocumented workers at that time, at the time of the COVID. And this was done because in the state of California, which has a lot of sanctuary cities, they realized that people who were working in healthcare, people who were working as seasonal workers in agriculture, people who were working in food production and food processing were working very hard during COVID to support the economy. I want to say that we welcome this pathway to permanent residency, and it's a very credible approach, but it's still a burden for many people to apply to this pathway. So we are calling on the government to grant status for all undocumented migrant workers in Canada. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Albert. That was great. So as you can see, this has been done in many places. Most of our migrant workers, undocumented immigrants, international students, people with precarious status, asylum seekers, refugees who have lost their status down the way are not able to access any of the government supports that we have. The government created different supports here for, in Canada, like the emergency community support funds to support people with food. Remember, our migrants, all these people that I mentioned, we're not able to access them, all because of status. We need fair and equity here. We have a few minutes before we are done, but I have Adams who is here now. And I know we have only 10 minutes. We're gonna get Adams to share his story with just 2 minutes before we all, finish up. So Adams, are you there now? Okay. Adams Isa. Okay, you have the floor now, Adams. Oh, Adams, we can hear you. Mm-hmm. Your volume is not connected. Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Happy Mother's Day to all mothers on this platform. I'm immigrant who crossed border through South America to Canada. I came here in 2016 November. I filed my asylum. My asylum was denied in 2017, May 6th, and I made appeal of board in 2017, and that one too was denied. So I changed a lawyer called David Mattis in 2017, and he made appeal to the federal court. Federal court accepted the appeal, and we went to court and they denied that case. So I straightly went and filed humanitarian in 2018, July 31st. Till now, I'm waiting for my humanitarian, not any replies from the immigrations. I filed 2019, I filed pre-removal assessment. It was being denied last year in 2020 March. And I'm on removal process, but I still have my working permit, still working with the company called Granny. Now the company has been sold to a different company called Eseldo Cooperative. It's a chicken process company. Most of Ghanaians were working there, and all of them are undocumented. Most of them cases were denied. We're calling on Justin Trudeau the Prime Minister and our MP of Winnipeg. We're calling on them to give us, to accept everyone, to give us status for all, for everyone. That's what we can say for now. And thanks for everyone on this platform for the little contribution. That's what I can say for now. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Adams. So as you can see, people who are working in the food production, they are all helping us. And we have people working in the construction field as well. They are doing most of our work for us. We are hoping they will all be able to stay with us. We're coming to the end of our program, and I just want to acknowledge one more time the Access Without Fear Coalition, which is one of the groups registered with Migrant Rights Network, together with ACOMI and all the other organizations. They have over 450 organizations registered with them. I'm going to ask everyone, take a picture, screenshot, post it on any of the social media and put the hashtag StatusForAll. Share it with your friends so our message will reach far. So please don't forget, even take a picture right now, take a picture with your family, show how your family is together and how you are hoping the government will allow the undocumented immigrants to also bring their family and stay with their family. At this time, I'm gonna check if our chair for the Access Without Fear, who has made this program possible for us, Karen Hamilton, if she is around. Again, I can't see my full screen. Gloria, do we have Karen on?
Unfortunately, Karen is not on. She sent a message and
okay,
that she's, responded to, Mother's Day demands with her family. So.
Yes, that is right. Do we have Maureen or anybody from the Access Without Fear Coalition? Okay, then we give the chance. I saw a hand that was up. I can't remember the name. If the person wants to say something, please put up your hand again and we let you talk. We just have a few more minutes. Okay. Okay. Gloria, can you see who put up their hand? I'm gonna change my view so I can see everyone. Okay, okay, well, so if nobody put up their hand, I'm gonna take this chance just to let everybody know, again, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, okay, knows that permanent status is necessary for migrants to access equal rights. And Immigration Minister Marco Medicino also affirmed that. But the majority of the migrants in Canada continue to be excluded, and programs required are causing chaos and even worsening exploitation and deportation. At this particular moment, we want to repeat, restate, echo, and reiterate our call for full and permanent immigration status for all. Hashtag status for all.
For all.
Everybody say it together with me. Status for all.
Status for all.
Good.
Status for
Everybody,
all.
Status for all.
please stay in your Zoom cubicle and we're gonna have a picture taken. Please stay on, don't leave yet. Okay.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all. Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
Status for all.
This is good. Now I see everybody individually. Status for all. Yeah.
Status for all.
Put on the speaker's view so I can see everybody. Yeah.
Status for all.
Status for all. I see everyone now. And I want to take this chance to thank everyone who came. This is just a start in Winnipeg. We're going to have another one. There is going to be across Canada. We will let everybody have the date when the time comes. That will be in July. Hopefully the weather will be nice. Hopefully the healthcare restrictions will be down and we'll be able to march to land. So, I want to thank everyone. Becky, Gloria, please put on the music. Everyone, let's dance or march in our Zoom boxes before we leave. So everybody, Zoom boxes. Music is coming on. And it can be loud. Check me outside again. It's usually loud out there. So stay on. Thank you, or Gloria will take a picture, please. Put up your side just like Debbie has, and then make it take the picture.
That's my list.
Good job, everyone.
Okay, I move my next page and see everyone. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much.
Sherry Woods. Yeah, thank you, Abdul Karim. Thank you, Ankarene. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Tita Bella. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Taki. Thank you, my grandchildren. Thank you, Grandpa Stefan. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Sid. Thank you, Mr. Alex Smith. Thank you, James. Thank you, whoever is gonna say that. Thank you to my family here behind me. Thank you, Mr. Gary Wood. Thank you, Scott. I'm gonna move on to the next page. Thank you, Mr. Taki. Thank you, Angelina. Thank you, Fatmata. Thank you, Mr. Dicky Sope. Thank you, Isabi. Thank you, somebody on iPhone. Thank you, Sadat Adam. Thank you, Gloria Deval. Thank you, Mariana. Thank you, Rashid. Thank you, Abdul. Thank you, Muyasa. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Auntie Florence. Thank you, Kavita, lady. Thank you, Tita Pella. Thank you, Mr. Weave. And thank you, Catherine. Thank you all so much for coming. We really appreciate this time. So everybody dance in your cubicle. And when you feel like leaving, we say bye. Hashtag.
Bye. And thank you, Maggie, for all this.
Maggie, for everything. Yeah, you did well.
So dance in your cubicles.
Forget your mother, you lost your life. Sweet mother, I no go forget you for the suffer where you suffer for me. Sweet mother, I no go forget you for the suffer where you suffer for me.
So thank you to my grandchildren. Keishan and Keelan, they were on. Thank you, BK. Special K.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you, Boyeman. Yeah. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Moses Boachi.
When I was asleep, my mother go bed me. She go lie me well for bed. She cover me clothes, say make you sleep, 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 my pikin. I no sleep, my mother no